It is the 7th and final day in Monte Carlo here at the 31st World Backgammon Championships. 335 players started out, and today only 2 remain in contention for the world title. The tournament has had twists and turns, exciting matches, and showed all the passion and tension that is backgammon. Philip Vischjager, 47 years of age and 2-time Dutch Open champion. He attributes much of his success to the computer program Snowy, which has helped him with backgammon problem solving and match analysis. His strong play in this tournament was illustrated by his convincing victory over Kazuhiro Shino in the semi-final. His performances will certainly keep his opponent today aware of what he brings to the table. Philip's opponent, the well-known Luigi was world champion in 1979 and has also had 2 semi-final appearances since. The Italian will draw on all his experience and his traditional style of play to try and overcome the Dutchman here today. It has been 27 years since Luigi has tasted success in this tournament. Can he prevail today, or will it be a debut victory for Philip Vischjager? Welcome to the final. Here we are for the big one, an exciting moment with the world title on line. The players shake hands and take their seats. Tell me, is there a favourite here today?
This is a hard match to call. We have on the one hand Luigi, who won this tournament over 20 years ago. He must be pretty confident sitting in this same seat that he was in so long ago. His opponent, Vischjager, is a student of the modern game and has won some recent tournaments. We have a backgammon match and we don't know who's going to win.
My name is Philip Vischjager. I live in Amsterdam, Netherlands. And I was always, as a young guy, 17, 18 years, I became interested in the game of backgammon. At that time we played very much, but the problem was we had not much education, no computers, nothing to see if analyzing anything. It was not possible at that time. So we had some books, Paul McGreal book, where he told holding game, back game, running game, just like that. So you get some feeling of the game, but you couldn't make the analyzation. Today it's possible with the computers to analyze everything, to see your mistakes, to learn, to improve my game. Internationally I didn't play very much. I started 18 months ago. So far the biggest achievement, 2 times Dutch champion, 2000, 2001, and my strategy will be to attack when it is possible, when I have the opportunity to play as good as possible, take my time to think moves over and to see what's going to happen when the game is running. He will be the favorite because, in my opinion, because the last day that if you're down 16-1 and you still win, that gives you an explosion of power, which is a big advantage. For the rest, when you're in the final and, okay, you don't have to make very crazy movements, try to do your best and the quality shouldn't be too poor, the dice will decide who will win.
Io sono italiano.
I'm Italian, brought up in the city of Milano. I began playing backgammon back in 1974. The first time I came into contact with the game was at a backgammon club in Milano, and I fell in love with the game at first sight. It was 30 years ago, in 1976, when I played in my first tournament in Zurich. I won my first tournament in Saint-Tropez in 1977, the only European tournament that I have won 3 times. In 1979, I won here in Monte Carlo. On that occasion, I played against an American by the name of West Timer, who at that time was the favorite. In the final, I won the 25-point match. It was 21-12 to him. Behind by 9 points, I managed to come back and win 25-22.
Rispetto a quando ho iniziato a giocare 30 anni fa,
When I compare how it was 30 years ago with today, so much has changed. Nowadays players can see via the computer which move is the best by percentage. Before, one had to guess by reading the other player's expressions.
Il livello si è molto appianato, quindi diciamo che
the game is more even today and matches are decided more often than not by luck.
Può essere determinante. Diciamo, io ho sempre avuto il gioco nel sangue, dal giochi di carte però è un gioco che quando lo conosci
I have always hard card games in my blood, but this is one game where one must think.
Non si finisce mai di imparare, non c'è nessuna
If one becomes
strategia,
passionate, it can go bad, and one may never see certain moves. It is not as much about strategy as much as you must concentrate and try to understand how your opponent thinks.
We join action with Luigi trailing 7-14 in a 25-point match. It's game 15 and Luigi on roll thinking about doubling.
And in fact, this is a very weak double. He's got a somewhat prettier position, but he's 20 pips down in the race and he's got 3 checkers back. That's not the kind of double you want to be making. However, he does happen to roll a 5-3 it hits in the outfield, sort of justifying his cube action there, but that's a pretty weak offering from Luigi.
Double 4, fans and can't come in.
So, Luigi's going to try to bring this around, but he's very, very far from home. He might even be realizing this after that sequence. He rolled a great number. He hits a checker in the outfield, but you can see he's still... Lots more can be happening in this game. So he buttons up, and he's bringing a checker down around in the outfield.
Comes in with the 3 and comes out to the outfield.
Yeah, the 5 is pretty clear. There's no other play that doesn't hurt his position. He's leaving a double shot in the outfield, but that's much, much better at this stage than bringing a checker to the ace point. So Luigi has 5s and 4s to hit. There, his dice are cocked. He has to roll again.
Four and 2 by Luigi.
So the 4 is pretty clear. He's going to hit that checker on the 8 points. Now he's got a choice of 2s, whether he leaves that checker there, moves it to his 6 point, or maybe he... This is the wrong idea. This is just a little bit too big. This gives Philip quite a bit of counterplay, and with that 3-1, he should exercise this counterplay. This looks pretty clear. He's got a 3 to enter to come up to the edge of Luigi's prime, and there's certainly nothing else except hitting with the ace. That's the way you win these games, is you just engage in a slugfest. Philip's thinking about this roll, but he shouldn't be. He should be entering with the 3 and then hitting.
Well, let's see if he does. Well, he does make the correct move.
That is what he does. But notice, Luigi already has to be thinking, why did I give up the cube here? There's so much going on in this game, but the biggest factor is the cube is on the wrong side of the table. Philip
and
has
Luigi dances on the bar.
Luigi dances, Philip's rolling. This is a huge roll. So the game is already turning around. With the 6, Philip is certainly going to hit. He has a choice with the ace. A bad play would be to lift the blot in his inner board. But this is a much better play. He's doing the right thing, which is to consolidate and hope to make that point next time. On the other hand,
Luigi comes in with the 4 and hits straight back.
Right, so it won't be there to be covered next time. The 3 stays out. Right now we've got what's called a mess, a tactical melee. Philip comes in with the 3. That looks pretty reasonable, and of course he's still going to hit on the 4, trying to make his own prime.
Luigi rolls, and it's a 5-3.
He stays out. Boy, you just don't want to do that. It's the simplest thing in backgammon is you stay out and you lose games. That's what happens. With this double aces, Philip has nothing better to do, of course, than to make the points. So suddenly he's taking much more command of this game. Luigi brings a checker in, but only 1 out of 2.
5-3. Now, what should he do in this situation?
Well, this does not give Philip a perfect roll. The 5 looks pretty clear. He wants to come out and make that anchor in the outfield, and that's, of course, what he does there. And with the 3, he's got a few choices. This is a slightly bigger play, but it looks reasonable. It pays off to a 1-6 or a 2-6. Those are the only rolls that Luigi can roll that punish that play. And, of course, what do you see? You see a 1-6.
1-6.
So
well, we've got some crazy events happening here in this game.
Yeah, that's backgammon for you. That's why we play this game. Philip has a 3-2 to play here. This is an interesting decision. He can come in the 3, and then he has a choice of where to leave that extra blot. He could come in on the 2 and then play the 3 in, but in fact that's the best play, and Philip doesn't see it.
6-2, and he hits again.
Yeah, so Luigi is getting a little lucky here. He started off with a weak double, but he's been rolling the jokers to justify the position. Philip fans on a 3-point board. That's certainly not what you want to do. And Luigi, with this final 6 over here, is able to escape, and now it's just a question of can he bring his men home without being hit.
Well, a couple of little swings here. It certainly is an interesting game, this one, I tell you. Worthy of the final, I could say.
It's, you can play 5 or 6 boring games in a row and think, oh, this is an easy game. And suddenly a game shows up with 15 different swings of fate. So this is actually a fairly poor roll for Philip Vischjager. He comes in with the ace, but he has a 4 to play. It looks like his best option is to break his board. He doesn't want to, but that's much, much better than leaving 2 blots in the outfield, so that's what he has to do. It's a concession, but that's what he has to do.
Luigi with a 2-1.
With a 2-1, Luigi wants to tread water here. He doesn't want to do this. Hitting on the ace is absolutely the wrong idea. I don't know if it's necessarily a big error or a small error, but it's an error. It's not what needs to happen.
Vischjager hits him straight back.
Yeah, it gets punished immediately. Whether or not he got hit there, it's not so big a point. It's the point that there was no value to hitting on the ace point there. You don't need to execute a blitz when you've got all those men way back in the board. So here, once again, he shouldn't be hitting with that 4, and once again he's getting punished. But what's generally happening here is this is becoming a more and more complicated game with each side having more and more men back. This game could go on for a while.
Vischjager 6 and 4. Several options he has.
Yes, he could leap 1 checker past the prime, but he chooses the right play, which is to hit in the outfield.
Luigi comes in with only 1.
That's right. And Vischjager now has a 5 and a 4. He needs to cover his 2 points. It looks like the alternative might be to leave a whole bunch of blots, but here at least he's got a semblance of a game. He has to face the music and play this 4 and leave some blots and hope Luigi stays up in the air.
And Luigi stays up in the air, as you just mentioned. He fans.
So we're quite away from home, but he is moving his checkers around. This is the wrong idea. What's going on is that Vischjager is thinking, well, I've got many men back. Let me make sure I hold on to 2 different anchors here. Let me sort of play a back game. But that's entirely wrong. He doesn't have the time to play a back game. He needs simply to get those men back.
And Luigi fans with a 3-2. 6-2.
And Vischjager immediately breaks the anchor that he stayed with last time. That sort of shows why that wasn't so important just 1 roll ago.
So 6-1 for Luigi. Should he come in on the 6 or the 1 here?
Well, there's an upside to each play. He'd like to come in the 6. It's the more advanced anchor, but it leaves a pretty awkward 1. It would leave 2 blots in the outfield. I think that might be my choice, but the alternative is to come in on the 24 points, and then he's got a pretty convenient 6, moving to his own midpoints. They're both very, very close. Nobody actually says it's pick 'em.
6-4.
So the 6 looks clear. Now Vischjager has an interesting 4 to play. This looks a little awkward, but it may be best. It may be best simply not to be leaving a lot of blots at this time.
Okay, with the 2-1, what's Luigi going to do here?
Well, Luigi could, in fact, play a little boldly, which he does. I think this is a good play. He brings a checker down from his midpoint, he leaves a blot, and of course,
he's going to get hit.
A shot to hit it. Yeah, but that's the nature of the game. He's now got a 3 to play, and he does have to play wide open. Notice he has to play wide open because he moved his last spare on the turn before.
Luigi has to come in on the 6.
And he does, and this is a really big shake. He comes in the 6, hits with a 3, and this could turn this game around. This could be a moment where Luigi really takes control. If Philip happens to fan, Luigi would have, but he doesn't fan, does he? He rolls double 2s, which is a monster shake. Double 2s, comes in, hits a first checker, hits a second checker. He's got 1 checker, 1-2 left to play, and Well, I was just saying this is going to turn the game around, but then this roll is now going to turn the game around. Philip has just rolled what we call a super joker. It's up to Luigi now to try to come in and stay alive.
Needing a 6 or a 1. Double sixes.
Well, we have our third consecutive huge swing of the game. Double sixes completely changes the perspective of this game. He comes in with 2 checkers. Clearly, he's going to hit a third, and now he spreads his men around with a fourth. These swings, these don't always happen, folks. This isn't just TV. This is how backgammon works.
A double 1.
No one seems to know how to fan at this point. Everyone seems to know how to come in and hit a checker. Okay, if that's the game we're playing, fine. He comes in with an ace, hits a second checker, and now he's got 2 more aces to play. This time he has the right idea. No silly backgame double anchor for Philip. He knows I need to get my checkers out and around the board.
Another double, a double 3.
But this time it fans. Okay, we've come back to earth. One player is actually allowed to fan. That's nice to see. That always happens in my games.
Vischjager re-rolling here. 6-5.
Well, that's a big shake. He has a choice of making an anchor in the outfield or hitting a second checker, and hitting a second checker looks certainly right. So now we've simply got a matter of we've got 2 of Luigi's checkers on the roof. 1 comes in, 1 stays off, and the question is, can Philip bring his checkers around, maybe hit a second checker before anything bad happens? He rolls a 5 and a 4. He comes out with a 5, and he has a 4 to play.
Should he safety a checker?
Well, it's a close decision. You don't want to play too inflexibly, but yes, I think that's the right place. No, he confirms that is the right play by a small amount.
Luigi with a 3-2. He fans.
So Philip, once again, is hoping to roll a 2 or hoping to, if not that, what's this? He rolls a 3 and immediately buries a checker from his 5-point to his 2-point. He must take that back. That's not at all the kind of thing he wants to be doing. He should simply be... He moves the 6 out, but why that 3, I don't know, and Snowy confirms that's really not what he wants to be doing. That's quite a strange play.
Well, he didn't really think about it. He rushed into that one, and 6-2 for Luigi. Comes in with the 6.
Comes in with the 6 and hits, and this might be yet another reversal in this game.
6-1 for Vischjager.
Well, he comes in with the ace, and really the only 6 that he's going to play is to make that outfield anchor.
A 6-5 for Luigi.
Oh, that's an amazing roll. He's able to hit a checker and make a 5 prime. This game just continues to have massive turnarounds. And here, suddenly, Vischjager has 2 checkers back behind a full 5 prime, and he has a whole bunch of blots in the outfield. This is not at all the position that he thought he was involved in just a few rolls ago.
Now, what can Vischjager do here with the dice?
Well, he needs to somehow safety these blots if he can, and he can't. He rolls a 2-1, and well, the 2 is helpful. This is interesting. The 2 is helpful. He can, well, of course, he must come up to the edge of the prime, and with the ace, he's actually able to hit on his ace point, which is what we've seen him do. This begins to solve some of those problems. That's actually got to be quite a good roll.
6-3 for Luigi.
So the 6 must come in. And he's certainly not going to give up his prime, and he's not going to give up either of those points, so this is the only logical play. And he's going to stare at it for a second, but he should just pick up his dice. That's the play to make.
A 6-5 for Vischjager.
Oh, and this 6 would be a huge error. He simply doesn't see the right play. There you go. He has to move the back checker out to make that point. That's the kind of error you don't want to make. But those optical illusions sometimes happen on the backgammon board. He just thought he didn't have another 6 there.
What a crazy game. We've had so many swings back and forth. 6-2 for Luigi.
Yeah, this is a strange number that actually doesn't hit. It's been pretty amazing. We've been seeing joker after joker. Indeed, in this game, I have no memory of how many times this has swung back and forth. I don't even know how this game started. These games, when they happen, you always wish you had a video camera, and fortunately, now we do.
Well, a double 3 for Vischjager. He's thinking here.
So he's moved the first 2, and that seems reasonable, and there's nothing else to do but cover the ace point. So now he has a stronger board. He has a 5-point board, which means in the tactical game that will ensue from here, he's got some real chances to keep Luigi out if he can hit him again.
Luigi with a 5-1. Now he's taking a bit of time here, but what does Snowy think he should do?
Well, this is a very interesting position. There were 2 choices there. He moved to the deuce points, but he could have broken the other anchor. Wow, a 6-2. That's pretty amazing just to move forward here. Vischjager just rolled the super joker. He just was able to escape his last checker. That kind of roll doesn't come on a tree, but suddenly this game has now taken on a new complexion, and we have an outfield battle here with two opposing armies that are just trying to get past each other in the outfield.
So a 4-1 with Vischjager.
So this is a little awkward. Vischjager does not want to break his board, but he doesn't want to leave a lot of blots. One option is simply to play, as he's playing, 5-4, 5-1, and that looks to be the right play. He has to do something, because leaving a whole bunch of blots against that 4-point board simply isn't the best idea.
So he breaks his board, and a 5-4 with Luigi.
So that's a great roll for Luigi. It prepares him, it makes that final point in his board, and now they've both got strong positions as soon as one of them hits another.
Vischjager with a 5-4.
Well, he would love to bring a back checker around, but he can't without leaving a bunch of blots, so he does what he has to, which is to break the 8-point. It does mean that he's in a position where he may very well be forced to leave a shot or a double shot in the next roll.
A double 6 here. Now what's this going to do?
This is a pretty interesting position. Luigi is behind in the race. You can see he's got 4 checkers back to 2, and this roll by itself does not equalize the race. He's still down, but he's found a good play. This is a good strategic play. He's left 1 checker back. It involves a little bit of risk, but that's a hunter, and indeed, as we can see right now, he's going to be able to pick up some blots. So Philip plays the 4 that's forced, and now it's simply a counting game. He's got to look at these 2 plays. He's got a 2 to play, and he's got to figure out simply what leaves the fewest shots.
So what does Snowy say about this one?
Snowy says that moving 1 checker all the way around to the 10-point is the right play, and Vischjager is counting shots right now. He's just seeing, does this actually work out better than another shot, and he's come up with the right decision, so that's good for him. Either way, he's going to leave a double shot. Now Luigi needs 4s and 3s to hit, and suddenly this is the sort of crucial moment. Double aces is a 4, and he's got a choice of which blot to hit now, but either way, he's going to be able to hit one checker. It looks like he should hit the back checker, the one on the top of the screen, because, of course, that gives him the most chance of hitting the next checker on the next roll.
Well, he does the right play, and what an amazing game we've seen thus far. I wonder if any more turns are around the corner.
It's been pretty crazy. So we're in a position where maybe we're near the end if Luigi can just bring this home. Vischjager enters, but with the 3, he's unable to safety his blot, so Luigi still has 3s and 6s to hit in the outfield, 5s to hit in his inner board. And with this 3-4, he's able to hit another checker. He can't complete his 6 prime, but he hits another checker. He's got to be feeling pretty good about this situation right now.
Needs an ace to come in on. Would love a 6-1. I can't believe it.
No,
it's a 6-1.
It's ridiculous. This is. Yeah, I don't know who paid for the dice in this game, but yes, he rolls a 6-1. He looks at it for a second. He picks up his dice, and the game goes on. So now we need Luigi to start entering in from this board, and of course he doesn't. And you can see on his face, this is not the turnaround that he was expecting. One more turnaround than he wanted.
Well, this has been an absolutely unbelievable backgammon game.
So Philip actually has quite an interesting choice here. He can hit a second checker, but leave 1 checker behind the prime, or he can escape the prime. And if he escapes the prime, how does he play the 2? There's quite a number of options here. Leaping from the prime looks right, but that 2 does not look correct. He had 2 other choices there, and in fact, spreading his men out, hoping to pick up a whole bunch of blots, was the right thing to do. That's a pretty significant error there. Snowy actually has that as a 10% error. Luigi comes in. He comes in with the 5. He has an ace to play. He's leaving some shots. This game goes on. This is just incredible that this game should once again turn around. Philip needs to roll a 4.
And he rolls a 4 and a 3.
Well, the 3 actually doesn't hit again, so we've got 1 more 3 to play. He has to figure out where to put those last 2 checkers. He can move either of his outfield checkers, and he's looking to see what the safest play is, and he's found it. That's the correct play.
Vischjager picks up his dice.
Luigi needs a 5 or a 6 to enter, and then he has 5s and 4s to hit. This game has gone through so many turns that it's not surprising. He enters with a 6 and hits with a 5, once again turning this game around.
Well, this game had plenty of turns, but from here on out, Luigi comes through with the game. And an amazing game it was. We saw many turns, but we'll now pick up the action. 2 points away for both players. Game 32 at tense final.
This is a pretty incredible match. Not all finals come down this close to the wire.
A double 5. Good throw.
So this score is quite an interesting one. Much has been written about this. There's no error in doubling at any time. It's almost unusual to see here that both players are playing on. Philipp Vischjager especially, being the more modern player, you would expect to know to be doubling on the first roll. Right here, in fact, that's a position that I really would be expecting him to double. And in fact, it's almost a bad thing that he rolled a good number because he's lost his market, as we say.
Well, this look on the face tells the story. Luigi with a 6-4.
And this is not a very comfortable 6-4. The best of a bad lot is to split his backmen and then move that checker into his 4 points. But in fact, he's playing to the 2 point. That's probably not best. He wants to split his backmen. You can see that it's a pretty tense moment. I mean, every decision here can swing the world championship.
So he's thinking, yes, he's going to split the backmen, picks up his dice.
And of course, this has to be a double. Philip has to look at this. There's no reason not to double this. This is a pretty trivial decision in a normal match, but again, this moment is filled with importance.
Now, this is a tense situation. Look at the players wiping a bit of sweat off the brow. What's he going to do here?
Well, Snowy actually informs us that this is a very, very close pass. And this position, this score, when they're each 2 away, you tend to be slightly more conservative than you would be for money, and that's good. That's exactly what Luigi does. That's excellent cube handling late in this match. So this brings us to the Crawford game. We now have Philipp Vischjager leading 24-23, which means there can be no doubling in this next game. And again, the match score is of paramount importance in how this game is going to be played. Luigi needs a gammon. That means he's going to play this as aggressively as possible, seeking big advantage. Philipp Vischjager should in fact be much more concerned with not losing a gammon than usual. He might sacrifice a lot of winning chances simply to make sure he doesn't get gammoned.
Well, this is amazing stuff. The Luigi Humke semi-final was absolutely incredible. Now this final has had many twists and turns itself. Tell me, what is going through both of these players' minds right now?
Well, who knows? What's going through these players' minds is, I can't believe I'm right here. I hope I don't make a mistake. I mean, it's... You have to think, in fact, that Luigi has an advantage here. And the reason is because he's been here before, and the feeling of the moment may not be getting to him. He's an older person. He's probably got a little bit more experience. Philipp Vischjager, this has got to be the most important moment of his backgammon career. If he can hold it together, he can keep playing. But emotions come up in amazing ways in backgammon tournaments.
Well, emotions do play a part. We saw that shot earlier, Luigi wiping his brow. The stress is out there. The pressure's on both players. Let's see how they react.
Well, here we have a really good roll for Philip. He's taking an early lead. That 2-5 hits a checker and moves out. But, of course, we've seen in this game, in this match, that these dice have a way of complicating these positions.
So Vischjager on roll. And he rolls a 3-2.
Well, he's got 2 blots. He'd like to safety them both. This roll doesn't allow it, so now he has to choose where he wants to concentrate. He can't safety the blot that he has on the 20 points, so he's probably going to safety his blot on the 9, and he does. And I guess moving out there is probably better than 64. So it looks like he found a good play. It's a tough position because he can't do what he wants to do, but it looks like he found the right play.
Luigi now with a 4-3.
Well, this is good. He's able to hit and make an inner-board point. This is the beginning of equalizing this position. Oh, but a 2-6, Vischjager, of course, doesn't look at that at all. He just jumps in and hits a checker. Villa might be beginning to feel some pressure here.
Well, he hits straight back.
He hits straight back, but he doesn't have the imposing position. He's still got a bunch of blots. So, but he comes back with a 4. That's a 4-5. He knows he's going to hit there. The 5 looks pretty clear. He must simply make his 8 points and give himself a little bit of structure. This is still anybody's ball game. 2-6 is not a good roll. In fact, it's forced, and he's got to be saying, why did the dice gods give me this? I have to break my 8 points. I don't want to be doing that this early in the game. I had all these blots I could have been hitting, but he's forced, and with a little shake of his hand, he says, that's the only thing I can do. On the other hand, he did put Luigi in the air, and Luigi fans on its 3-point board. That's not what he wanted to do at all.
So Luigi now with 2 dancing on the bar.
Yeah, that's not the position you want to be in when you're this close to the end of the match. So Philip has the 2-1 to play. He's going to hit loose in his board with the ace to put the second checker up, and then plays a 2, diversifying. What can Luigi do here?
Luigi gets a 1 which he wanted.
Yeah, that's a very big ace for Luigi. That may well be the biggest ace of Luigi's life. Oh, but double 5s from the bar, this is pretty huge. This comes in, this hits a checker, and it's probably going to hit some more. Philip, of course, remember, is not trying to win a gammon. Winning a gammon has no particular value for him. He just needs to make sure he wins the game. But that still looks to be the right play. When you got 3 checkers on the bar, good things can happen to you.
Okay, double 2, so he manages to bring all 3 out.
All 3 in to the inner board, and of course hit another checker. It's just it's the kind of turn of events that we've been used to seeing from these 2 players.
And now Vischjager follows that up with a double 3.
Yeah, so he comes in. It's nice that these players are able to make their points that easily. If you keep on rolling doubles, then that's what's going to happen.
Luigi will have to re-roll.
This is now a moment of really lots of tension here because Vischjager has made his 5-point board. Villa has 2 plays. He can make a pretty quiet play. He can safety his blots and let the game go on and take its normal course. Or he can make a much, much more aggressive play, which is to hit 2 checkers. That looks pretty risky, but it has a really big upside. The upside is if he's not hit back, suddenly he can actually make a strong position. The key to this position is the match score. Luigi needs 2 points. He needs to win a gammon, and hitting 2 checkers is the way to win a gammon. So that's really the wrong idea at this score. If Luigi were leading, if Luigi had the 24-23 lead, he might make that play, but not at that score.
Luigi looking to roll now, and he rolls a 4-1.
So the 4-1 can hit. He can hit in the outfield, but that would be a really big play against Vischjager's 5-point board. And it looks like Luigi has made the right play. He's building his board, hoping for a better shot later.
Vischjager on roll, a double 5 for Vischjager.
Well, that moves a lot of wood, as we say in backgammon, but it does freeze his blots on the 12 points, and it means that Luigi will be shooting at a shot next roll.
Now, should he play down to 8 here? What's your opinion on this play?
It looks pretty natural to make the 8 points. That's going to be the easiest way to clear those checkers in the future, and that's what Vischjager has done.
Luigi with a 6-5.
Oh, the 5 is really good. It's great to come out to the bar there. The big question is, does he play that same 6? And I think, yes, that's the answer that he has to play. It's a big play. If Vischjager can roll a 2, which he does, that's going to send him back. But I think that was the pure play, and that was the right play.
Well, the dice not falling in favor of Luigi there. Let's see what he can do on this roll. Luigi with a 5-3.
So his dice are letting him down. He needs to come in with a 2 there.
And double 2s just to rub it in by Vischjager.
Well, he needs to bring his men around. He's looking for just the optimal places to put them such that he doesn't have to leave any more shots. This is definitely moving into Vischjager territory. We may have a new world champion in just a few rolls. But instead, Luigi rolls a 2. So he's back in the game. The 6 isn't so comfortable, but he's got a deuce point game. And those produce shots all the time. So with this 6-2, Vischjager makes the forced play. He has to play the 6th down, and now he's left to 2. Of course, Luigi has 2 blots on his board, so he's not so happy about hitting either way.
Well, he can't hit here anyway. He brings a man into the outfield.
Yeah, the 6-5 is correct, and of course the 6 is right. He has no reason to make his ace point now. He's just going to bring his checkers around, hoping to make his board in the future.
6-5 for Vischjager.
This is an interesting play. He comes in with the 6. The natural play is 6-1, which leaves no shots. But Philip Vischjager has elected to leave a double shot, and the reason is, of course, because Villa has 3 blots in his inner board. And it turns out that Snowy thinks that's a slight error, but he really has to be commended for thinking that far, that carefully, this late in this now 5-hour match. So what happens is that Villa rolls a 6-5, and he's electing to hit. He's going to have to leave a double shot, but this may well be the right way to turn this game around. It will be all up to the dice at that point.
Look at the eye contact here. A 3 or 1 will be huge for Vischjager. Well, he gets a 3 and a 1.
And he hits 2 checkers, and this could be very, very close to the end for Luigi. He needs to roll a 2 to stay in this game.
And unbelievably, he hits on the 2.
You know, you're not supposed to roll that every time. It's supposed to, when I roll, it's a 1/3 chance, but I guess for these guys, they just come right in. And joker after joker. Double aces, hits another checker. Of course, he's going to hit loose on the 2 points, and then he's going to spread his checkers around. This is a pretty strong position. That's not the right play, and good for him. He sees that's not the right play. He needs to hit loose here. There's no reason, with 3 checkers in the air, he doesn't need to be worried about Luigi's board. A much stronger play. Very good.
Well, this has been a crazy game of twists and turns, and it looks like we've got a few more yet. 5-4.
That was a crucial miss. And here, with this deuce ace, Philip is able to close his board.
Moving quickly ahead in this game, Luigi has 3 in the air, and Vischjager is bearing off.
And here we have what might be a final moment of drama. Philip has just rolled a 4-2, and he must leave a blot. He's thinking now whether to leave it on his 23-point or 22. He can take an extra checker off, but this looks to be the right play. It's safer in the long run. Can Luigi roll a 3, assuming Philip makes that play?
Well, he's taking his time. He's thinking about that. He knows he's very close now to a championship title.
Yeah, this is about as... It's a trivial play, except that the World Championship lies in the balance, so he's going to take the time to get it right. Luigi needs to roll a 3. That's all that there is. He does have 3 men on the bar, which means that when he misses, as he does, and you can see that it's weighing heavily on him, he's still got shooters left on the bar. It all depends on whether Philip might end up rolling another shot. And he does. With a 6-4, 2 checkers come off. We have one more chance. This really is going to be the last chance.
Luigi needs a 2 here, and he gets it, a 2 and a 5.
You know what I have to say here is that I'm going to move away from this game for 1 second. This is the fundamental difference between backgammon and poker. Poker, you know how the time course of a game is going to go. There's going to go flop, turn, river, and you're done. You never know when this is going to end. This game could have been over, but suddenly this could last another 30 minutes because of this last-ditch shot. You never know when you're going to get to go home when you play backgammon.
Well, this certainly has been intense and pressure-packed. We just have to wonder now, does Luigi have a chance? What's left in the dice for him?
So there's quite a few stages that this game is going to have to go through. Philip has 10 checkers off, which means that even if things go very well for Luigi, if he completes a closeout, he's still going to be an underdog in trying to win the game from there. But of course, it's going to take a while for him to do that. So here we see that he's got his 5 points slotted. If he can make this point, he's 1 step closer. And with the 3-1, he does. Of course, he's going to make the point with the ace, and then he's got a 3 to play, and there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 checkers that he might move. He should take his time here trying to figure out what the best 3 to play is.
And what we have to understand here is these players, look at Luigi there, they've been sitting here for more than 4 hours. 4 hours of intense concentration, and it's all coming down to the last few rolls now.
Yes, I've played in the finals of some big tournaments, but never the World Championships, and it's really hard to even imagine what kind of pressure these players are under. It really is what separates champions from those other players, is how well they can keep their cool in a position like this.
Well, after being hit, Luigi throws a 6-4.
And that's a big disappointment. He had 5s and 1s to hit, but he does not. So he comes in and he moves his forward checker. That looks correct. This is huge. One roll could determine the championship right here. But it doesn't. He rolls an ace-2. Something like double sixes, the game is over. But now Luigi has a triple shot.
So with many opportunities now, a 6-2, and he'll hit.
Of course he will. He can hit with either checker, and then he's just got to play big here. He can't be thinking at all about lifting his blot on the 7 point. He's going to play that too, and now he just needs to maximize his chances of making both the 7 point and the 3 point, the points that he needs.
Well, the game technically alive here, but Luigi does need a bit of luck.
Oh, he needs a parlay here. He needs many different things to happen. He needs to hit this checker. And with his roll of double fours, 1, 2, 3, he does. And so Luigi sees that, and he's going to make those play those 3 fours and make his bar. That's really good. But he needs to do a few things. He needs to close out this last guy, and it's proving to be hard, and then win from there. So he's still the underdog.
Well, a 6-5, he's going to hit again.
Of course he's going to hit again, and every single roll he's a favorite to hit again because he's got so many of those back checkers. But it just needs one miss, and suddenly the game could be over.
Okay, 3-2. Now, what should he be looking or thinking about doing?
Well, he really wanted to roll a 4 or a 6 to hit, but he didn't. So he does the best he can by making a broken 5' in front of Philip. And Philip needs to roll a 5, but he doesn't, so he can't play anything. So here, once again, 6s and 4s are what he needs. The 6 immediately hits, and then a 5 he's going to play in the outfield, or coming down to remake that point.
2-1, he hits. I cannot remember the last time Vischjager fanned.
Well, that's the way you win tournaments. I remember the first bit of backgammon wisdom I ever heard. You fan, you lose. And Vischjager understands that, so he's not doing it.
Let's see how he goes this time. He fans.
Ah, there we go. Okay, Luigi is looking like he's about to make a 6', and this game is going to take on a new stage.
He comes out with the 1.
He comes in with the 1, but he's not able to escape, and Luigi has a 5-1 to hit there. Luigi's a big favorite right now to complete the closeout, but of course that does not mean he wins the game. It means he gets to the next phase. He gets to try to bear off his checkers. But once again, Vischjager has 10 checkers off. That means this game is far from over, even if Luigi completes the closeout.
Fans again, and Luigi wants a 6 here.
He wants a 6. Even a 4 would be very helpful.
And as if on cue, Luigi throws a 6.
Oh, this is just amazing. This is a huge turnaround. Luigi has very real chances to become a repeat world champion based on hitting that last-ditch shot. We're going to see if it happens, but really, throughout this whole tournament, we've just seen some games with unbelievable turnarounds, as backgammon players like to say, and it's why we watch the game. It's just it's astonishing.
Yes, well, we saw a wild one in one of the semi-finals. This one has been a real roller coaster ride. But tell me now, what is happening here?
Well, we have a tight race. Luigi is going to bear his checkers off, but Philip already has 10 checkers off. What we're going to see here, which will be really interesting, is whether Luigi knows the modern theory about how aggressively to take his checkers off when Philip is so far ahead. Older style players weren't as aware of the fact that they could be really aggressive and leave lots of shots just on the hope that their opponent will not come in. So with this roll, 3-2, in fact, Luigi's best play is to spread his builders around. He's playing the 3 and the 2, and that's absolutely correct. He doesn't worry about double 6s leaving a shot. He just maximizes his chances of taking spares off next turn.
A 4-3 here. So
and that's a great roll. And he does exactly what he should. That's not the play you make when your opponent has no checkers off. That's the play you make when they have 10 checkers off, is you just rip checkers off.
6 and a 5. Now, he is playing aggressive here?
Yeah, and that's exactly what he should be doing. And Philip is complying by fanning. So we're now at a point where this is anybody's ball game.
A 4-3. Should he take 2 checkers off here? I guess that's the aggressive shot.
Well, 2 off is a little bit overboard, but what he should be doing is breaking the 6 point. This play is not correct. He should not be stacking another checker on his ace point. That's bad for the race, and that's what kind of game this is.
So a double 3 by Vischjager. He is in and hits, but that's all he can do.
Right, that's all he can do because Villa has his 6 points. But boy, we now have just a dogfight. We've got these 2 checkers running around the board, and any roll can decide this match. So Villa's shooting. He's got to shoot at a 7, and he misses. He's not able to hit. It could be all over right now.
Wants to bring his man beyond Luigi's back marker.
But he can't. He can't roll more than 7 pips. It's we've got one last chance to roll a 2. You can actually see Philip smiling there. And he rolls a 2.
Well, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, we just, the game doesn't want to end. And Philip fans on a 3-point board.
Luigi wants to come around quick.
Well, that's not quite quick enough. It's a double aces. How much longer will Philip capitulate by staying off on this 3-point board? You can see he's taking a little bit more time to shake here.
Well, he comes in on 3 and advances. Now he wants to hit again.
He certainly does want to hit again, and he doesn't. And this is a misplay. It's not major, but it's a misplay. Luigi picks up his dice really quickly, but he shouldn't be moving forward. He should be staying back because he's still in trouble.
Well, is hitting the correct move here?
Well, yes, it is. It's very interesting, and it's good that he made the right play, but because Luigi has equalized this game enough that Philip can't let him just play on in this race. Anything could happen here. So you can see right there, with this 3-2, Luigi's now far behind in the race once again.
5-3 by Vischjager.
And it's not quite enough to get past Luigi's last guy. How many times has he been in this situation and rolled this magic number? Is he going to roll a 2 one last time? He doesn't. He rolls double fives. I don't think it's going to be enough. He's able to move around the board, but Vischjager simply has too many checkers off. It looks like he is about to be our next world champion.
Well, that is right. That's it. We have a new world champion. Vischjager of Holland. He has done it in extreme circumstances. A fantastic final.
It was an amazing final. It's been an amazing tournament. This final was tightly contested. It came down to the last few games. It was amazing to watch, and we had an amazing final game. It doesn't get any better than that.
So Luigi Villa, the backgammon veteran, bows out in a tense and exciting finish. What a match we saw. And we have a new world champion in Philip Vischjager of Holland.
The last couple of games, it was not in my hands anymore, as you understand. And yeah, you roll and you play and you go. And suddenly I was behind 1917. And the dice weren't mine anymore. And after 21-19 for him, I went a little bit better. But it was very tough, and the problem is the tiredness, the stress of the week comes out at the wrong moment. But in the final, it's very tough. I never understood how difficult it was. Because the problem is you come once in your life, you come in the final, and you can't do it again. So you understand that's the problem. You have to win in principle, because the coming 50 years it will be somebody else, and therefore it's very important, and that makes it very difficult. Yes, I will celebrate.
How?
I don't know yet, but in here probably, and in the Netherlands, I will give a party to celebrate. And all the people are welcome. You are welcome.
Thank you very much.
And no, but you understand, I'm very happy. World champion 2006.
75,000 euros to Philip Vischjager.
Last year, my father passed away, and he was a huge help for me in everything what I did. And I want to donate this cup to him. So, Papa, thank you very much.
The 31st World Backgammon Championship draws to an end and has lived up to all expectations. The Backgammon World sees a new champion in Philip Vischjager of the Netherlands. He now adds his name to an extinguished list of former champions. Backgammon. More than just a board game. Excitement, tension, heartbreak and joy. All the emotions experienced by 335 players for one dramatic week in Monte Carlo.